Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. It's Saturday, the 21st of December. It is 4 days until the big man arrives in town, isn't it? Maybe not for everyone, because let's be honest, there's two lists, and if you were 130 charges naughty, but you could also be top of every league nice. So you'll know which list you find yourself on. 4 days till you find out. However, more importantly, just over 24 hours until Liverpool face at the Tottenham Stadium, aren't they? Let's hope they're a bit Spursy. Let's hope it's 3 points that we take away. I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from the sun's out, but it's fucking lying. It is freezing, it is wet, it is windy in Edinburgh. So don't let any glare coming in fool you at all. It is not nicest, but there's a bit of a warm winter feel. And I've got some bourbon ready to make some old fashions later. So we're in a good mood. All right. And one of them big, massive, fat off bars of dairy milk I'm looking forward to devouring with it at the same time. Hopefully you're enjoying the Christmas spirit and in everything that way. However, we're here to talk about Liverpool, aren't we, ladies and gents? Everything Liverpool related. What are the latest stories? Well, there's quotes galore. There's people speaking, current pros, ex-pros, current head coaches. There is plenty to get our teeth stuck into today. And also some good Christmas content from the club, which is worth calling out as well. So let's get right into it. It's not even a Liverpool player, but it does relate to us. And the top of the sort of agenda, the place to start feels like Martin Zubimendi. So you may or may not have read the quotes from him this morning, and I'm probably pronouncing this name horrendously wrong, but Zubimendi's in an interview with a local Sociedad journalist, Bernat Barreto, probably apologies to him if I'm butchering his name, where he's talked at length, and it is across various fan sites, but a couple of things to call out that Zubimendi said here. He said, I don't believe in one-step opportunities. If you're good and want to achieve something, it will come to you. There's no need to rush. There is a few other things he said in the interview, but talking about the Liverpool situation, the decision to stay at Sociedad, he did say there were many reasons for my decision, but I was selfish and thought about what was best for me, and that was staying. So yeah, you can obviously click on his account, look at the full quotes, the full interview if you want. We're not going to do that, to be honest. Couple of reasons for that. I don't know about you people, but the quotes I've seen, and it talks about, a few things and having to make decisions and how the Liverpool offer apparently caught him on the hop. Not sure I believe that. I think we can pretty much write off the chance that Martin Zubimendi is coming to Liverpool in January. So any hopes, and I think a lot of us had hopes around that. I understand if you did them never going to happen, and I get it, but there's always hope until it's extinguished. Now, this isn't completely extinguished. It's just really hard to see Martin Zubimendi ending up at Liverpool in January now. And you've seen even a few City journalists this morning saying, that's ruled it out, a few respectable journalists. So there's that. For me, I still want a midfielder. I still want a left back, more importantly, but I still think if you can get a midfielder that can make a difference, shall we say, I do think it moves the needle in the title push. And also, this is my feeling that next summer, this isn't dead. That's my honest belief that next summer, this will be revisited. I can see people will disagree with that. And I get that because people will be thinking next summer, and this is what I'm thinking, it'll be 26. This is the time, to sort of reinforce from strength, have that title tilt. So I'll probably end up, people will criticize me for this, but because if we do sign him in the summer, I'll be praising it. But I would just almost like us personally to move on and make a move for a midfielder this summer. People will disagree with that, and I get it. If he's available, this is the only player we definitively know that Arne Slot likes. That, all the hierarchy, the Hughes, the Edwards, etc. happy with. That's the only thing we definitively know about this player. And the comment coming in there, Zubimendi worries me a little. Does he not limit our options? To be honest, that's a possibility, but there are other legs. I'm not sure in the near future we're going to have to worry about it. As I said, people, it kind of rules out Martin Zubimendi from a January transfer to Liverpool. So we'll all see it differently. You may not think midfield is a priority. You may think, and I do think this, left back is a key area. However, at the moment, I'm just being honest, from all the news we're getting, and we've said this in various shows, as much as we all want it, and we do want it, and it's right to want it at the same time, it's hard to see reinforcements coming in January. So we will see what happens there. Back to the current squad, though, back to the manager, back to the current players. And there's quite a bit here on Anfield Index that we've got for you. So first one was around Arne Slot. Now, this was Arne Slot's embargo comments. So if anyone caught these, they came out about 10:30 last night. So they were around specifically Trent Alexander-Arnold. And you may have seen his Men in Blazers interview where he talked about legacy and wanted to leave that and become the best right back in the world. So naturally, Arne Slot was asked about this. So there's a detail in the article here about him. Well, I heard about him talking about making a legacy. I don't know if he meant in terms of being at one single club or just as a player. I also don't know if it's true that he's the one most likely to leave. We don't talk about contracts in here. Interesting. There's not really much Arne Slot's going to give away around contracts. We know that. He straight battered beautifully all the comments, all the questions that I've seen so far. So that's not really the insight. This bit is more interesting just for me. He's done well because he was asked about Trent's performances. He's done well, but I still see him with ups and downs during games or in between games. His performances against City and Newcastle when he came in were incredible, but I don't think he reached the same level against Fulham, which is probably true. He didn't have a good game, and I think it's fair to say he probably plays a hand in both the goals to a certain extent. I think personally pretty lazy for the second one. I know Quanta should do better. They both have a hand in it that way. I said this on another show. If it is about legacy for Trent, then you stay. Because if you leave, and it's pretty obvious he leaves Madrid, legacy, well, you won't be a star there. The team won't be focused around you there. You definitely won't be a vice captain or have that armband in the future there. That's pretty impossible to see, in all honesty. You'll just go down as another footnote, shall we say, in Real Madrid history. And it kind of goes back to me for what Klopp said about Coutinho ages ago. Stay and get yourself a statue built. That's really the opportunity for me that Trent Alexander-Arnold's got. So when you talk about legacy, that's the biggest thing I would underline. At the same time as well, you're with an elite tactician. Arne Slot, as he's proven already, is an elite tactician. The tweaks he makes during the game, the changes, the various things, it's absolutely crucial, I think, if Trent wants to improve himself still as a player. And even Arne Slot saying there, we can get better, he should stay. And I get the comment there, yeah, legacy could also mean trophies. And yes, I'm not saying he couldn't get those, but I think it just hits different. And there's always that analogy of look at what happened to the likes of Owen, McManaman, and how they are seen at the same time as well. And speaking of Owen and how he's seen, that is one of the stories as well, because Michael Owen on Anfield Index has been speaking specifically about the 3 stars. And when Michael Owen speaks, it tends to be one of those that sometimes it could just curdle milk, or, when you've had like too many Pepsi Maxes or items over Christmas, sometimes you just have that feeling when Michael Owen speaks at times. But bizarrely, maybe makes quite a bit of sense in this one. So he gave an interview to the Liverpool Echo talking about the 3 contracts. So let's just pull out a few comments for this. So if we start with Trent Alexander-Arnold, his age is the pro. Obviously, he's an exceptional player, but his age, He's far younger than the other two. So you think there's more longevity in him. Straightforward, that one to understand, etc. On the one hand, you've got the positive that Trent's still quite young and still going to give you plenty of time. But on the other hand, there is a replacement. There should worse come to the worst, and Trent goes. And he does go on to talk a little bit more about Van Dijk and Salah. And I actually agree with him on this. There's nobody on the planet, that's as good in his position as Virgil van Dijk, in my opinion. There's nobody on the planet in his position that's as good as Mo Salah. I think, for me, that might be the most sense that Michael Owen's talked in a long time. I mean, he opens his gob and he really doesn't help himself at times. But I would actually agree with that the age and the value of the player, I mean, if we brass tacks, if Trent walks out, it is £100 million player plus leaving on a free. That's the sort of the business part of it. You saying there the most irreplaceable is Van Dijk. I can get behind that. I do think Salah and Van Dijk are not just world class, they're elite, as in the best in their position in the world. No doubts about it at all. Yeah, top 10 Liverpool players, Helio Matthews puts there, are just a good player. And that's the thing that, weirdly, I find myself almost agreeing with Michael Owen on that you don't want to lose Trent. Trent's skill set is incredible. Let's not undersell this. He is a world-class player. But in terms of, and please, when I'm saying this, don't want to think about him against Trent. I am desperate for Trent Alexander-Arnold to sign a new contract. I would love all three to stay at Liverpool Football Club. I think it's almost imperative for us to kick on. But we might just be resolving ourselves to the situation that it's hard to see, isn't it, at the moment? Loads of comments flying in, so keep them coming. Some interesting ones we'll call out there as well. I like that one, as you mentioned, Helio Mathias. Does he remembered as a Gerrard, or does he want to be remembered as a McManaman or an Owen? That is the cost that Trent has got to weigh up. We'll see what decision he makes. And let's be honest, when we're talking about contracts, as Michael Owen is, it's only 11 days until 2025, and everyone knows what that means in pre-contract terms as well. Interesting. We said the boss was speaking as well, and he did actually talk about the links to Tottenham. Now, Tottenham tried to deny this, but it was so bizarre. They tried to get a manager, head coach, after he won the league with Feyenoord, which for me was a smart move. It was a smart decision. Yes, it didn't work out, but look how well he's done. Imagine what he'd have done for Spurs as well. But it's interesting that he always tried to deny that. And he's been quite praising Evange in the build-up, hasn't he, on this as well? So just a couple of comments from this. I think he delivers some good lines on a slot, doesn't he? The problem is that the ones who know do not want to talk about it, and the ones who don't know do want to talk about it. So yeah, I think that's quite clear what he's saying. I was really happy that I stayed at Feyenoord. That I can say. Sometimes you can say everything by nothing, can't you? As that expression goes. Also quite praised Evange as well, saying that if a manager plays an attacking brand of football, please support him, because that is what we want. And to be honest, ahead of this Spurs game tomorrow, that is what we want. Most of our season's quite often been about teams in a low block, hasn't it, coming at us. Also, we have to break them down. We don't really have teams coming at us that way. And actually, Tottenham have great attackers and have got a lot of defensive injuries. The first two choice centre-backs are out. The goalkeeper's out as well. So there's a lot to think. If we just trade even blow for blow tomorrow, you'd probably back us that way as well. So there is a lot to be, I think I'm not seeing a load of comments from Arne Slot, but he's also thinking, yeah, you just play that attacking football. You do your kung-ho, kamikaze style thing that you do, and we'll control the game from there. So I'm absolutely hoping that tomorrow Spurs are Spursy in every single regard. All we know about team news as well, people, apart from Ibu and Connor Bradley, it is a full squad to select from. And at this stage in the season, I mean, don't get me wrong when I'm saying this, I'm desperate for Ribu to get back. I do believe he is what I'd call one of our difference makers on the pitch, and him and Van Dijk are the best centre halves in the Premier League. So you do want him back. Joe Gomez is a brilliant player. Konate's, as we say, with Van Dijk are the two best centre halves in the Premier League. So if you can get him back quick, that would be great. But to only have two out at this time of year, you've got to think, in all honesty, Arne Slot probably not too unhappy to have that situation, but not too joyous because obviously we want Ibu back and Conor Bradley, to be fair, as quick as possible. Speaking of this weekend, people, I mean, Villa City's underway. I don't think we really consider City title rivals. Probably of any games we've got an eye on this weekend, it's that one, isn't it? Crystal Palace, 5:30. Arsenal visiting. You just don't know what you're going to get with Arsenal. You might have already ruled them out the title race. I don't know, but we will have. A few comments coming in about the lineup there. I think Slot does Diaz, Jota, Salah. That is exactly the forward three that I picked as well in post-conference presser. That is exactly what I said. I don't think the team's that hard to predict. I could be completely wrong on this, but it's Trent at right back, Robbo at left back, VVD Gomez. In the middle, you will have Grav, McAllister, and Dominic Szoboszlai to press, to harry, to run all over the pitch. And really, to be honest, try and, press Fraser Foster into a mistake as well. And then those three in the middle. That is what I believe the lineup will be. We'll see if that's right. Probably tomorrow's maybe the more interesting one, of course, because it's us at 4:30. But that one, 2:00 tomorrow, Everton v Chelsea. Can those Blue Noses do us a favour? You wouldn't bet on it. People will argue, well, Arsenal, they got a draw there, didn't they? A goalless draw at the Emirates. So anything is possible, but I would not put serious money, personally, on Everton getting anything. But that would be a nice bonus. At the end of the day, though, let's just be crystal clear. We are 2 points clear. It's a thing of beauty, that, isn't it? Hang it in the freaking Louvre. 2 points clear at the top of the league and a game in hand as well. So if we take care of business, everything good that way. And funnily enough, someone's just put there, Villa have taken the lead against City. So as it stands, they are 9 points behind, having played 2 games more. If that's not enough, and obviously if it finishes this way, by the time this is released, by the time you lead it, it could be well different. But if that's not enough to rule them out of the race for you, I don't really know what is. So yeah, plenty going on to watch today. All about thoughts for tomorrow, though, really, isn't it? And to fill that time, let's talk about the content we've got for you. Obviously, on AI, there's a million different articles for you to read. If you are an article hound, like to read some various things there. Pods-wise, look at the sheer amount we've got for you in the last 24 hours. This is better than rocking up to your mate Mick's house, who's got like Benedict's, After Eight, those little mint matchmaker things you numble through like you're a beaver chewing a dam, like bourbon, everything. Look at this for a collection. In the last 24 hours, ladies and gents, you got post-conference presser when we were on a Slot's press conference. You got scouted, didn't you, there with the normal lads previewing the game. You got the Daily Red off Dave talking about even championship players as well that could be of interest in the headlines. You got the rival recon with Harry and a Spurs fan on there doing that. You got me and Bart's and the Stat Me Up as normal, running through the Fulham stats and also giving some preview to Tottenham. And interestingly, if you do watch that, just have a listen to Spurs defensive stats. It might surprise you, maybe not. And then today, the Desi Pod 8, the Christmas top 10. I'm not listening to that myself, so I'll be doing that as well. See what Nina, Gags, and all the gang are up to there. So a Christmas special will be intriguing. But see there, just in the last 24 hours, 6 pods for you to listen to. Kill the time until tomorrow that way. Even if you're going on a run, walking the dog, whatever. So we have got plenty on the docket for you, and plenty to come this weekend as well, ladies and gents, because obviously tomorrow we'll have the Daily Red as ever. Naturally, Housewives favourites will be back on the screen. So you'll have Jack doing the watch along as normal, doing his bit if you want to join that. Naturally, you'll have Gags doing his show afterwards as well. And Trev, Dave doing the normal Raw, and someone will be joining them, I'm sure. And you will have Trev back, I'm told, because the bourgeois bastards at Vodafone Island have pulled their finger out, fallen to the proletariat, and a fibre cable is apparently in. So there we go. Play to wet your whistle, ladies and gents, this weekend. As the great Annie Lennox once said, I'm bringing you tidings of comfort and joy. Comfort and joy. It is Christmas. There is so much to like. Most importantly, though, in 24 hours or so, Liverpool do place at their stadium. A few mentioning about who might be out, who might be in. As we said, just in case you missed it, the only people we know definitively are out are Ibu Konate and Connor Bradley. And I think someone mentioned there, Helio Matthias puts Chiesa and Tyler Morton not in training yesterday, or not pictured in training, but nothing mentioned at the press conference. So interesting to see if they are out. But there's no excuses tomorrow. This is my real big final thought on it. There are zero excuses tomorrow because Tottenham played on Thursday night. It was a pretty end-to-end ding-dong, wasn't it, in that Carabao Cup quarter with United, a 4-3, but they were playing right to the end. So they've had a day less. They played their strongest team as well. Let's not mince it at all, and they're still shipping 3 goals. Tottenham bring an attacking threat, but they have a soft underbelly. And without Vicario, without Van de Ven, without Romero, and even with them, they do ship goals. So there's a lot to think about there. And if we're on it and we play to our true level and they play to their true level, we triumph every single day. That's what it's about. If we play to our level, we take the game away from them. And hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, they are absolutely knackered. We will see, Enjoy your day, whatever it brings. If it brings Christmas shopping, visiting in-laws, friends, family, enjoy a drink tonight. Probably like me, you've got football, boxing, various things to fill the day of excitement. It is the festive mood. Let's hope by this time in 48 hours or so, or after the Tottenham game, I should say, that we've still got that Christmas feeling. But on Saturday, the 21st of December, that was another Daily Red for Anfield Index.